Good morning, everyone. Today is October the 9th. I was thinking a lot about stuff yesterday, how I'm going to be changing my direction, as the saying goes, of where I'm going to get really serious on my subjects on different platforms, rather than getting all enamored with what I would call just commenting on comments. Because it's really something to talk about GS. And what GS is that we have a set idea based on what others say about it, or what we conceive it to be because of our experiences. But when I sat down and thought about even my experiences, or the things that were said on the offshoot, or the things that I saw, it was far more than what it appears to be. It's many, many things contained in a very neat package. And I believe that when you put all these particular factions, especially the criminal element of it, you will find that things start to make sense in a larger perspective. The biggest perspective that I saw was when I looked up human trafficking on these advocacy sites. And what they said there, the words that they said were very much tied into some of the scenarios that are within the GS system. It was very interesting to see that. So that is a criminal element. Then I was thinking about the drug trade. Why would I say that? Well, pharma is a big business. Illegal drugs is a big business. The black market of drugs is big business. And many years ago, just before everything went overt in 2011, I mentioned something about drugs, and that's when things were starting to amp up. And somebody said something about an illicit drug trade going on. Then there's the prostitution rings. Again, I had another experience where basically a lady within the building talked about an illegal prostitution ring. And I believe she was a TI, but I will address that probably in my message part of this video. But the biggest thing that I noticed was that strange men were approaching me, whether soliciting or not soliciting directly. They do it sort of in a back way. And it was the men that were meeting me on the street all of a sudden were coming out of the woodwork back then. But they still creep out, even where I am now, but it's very rare that it happens because I don't think they would want to ask me at this point. But the point of it is that the more I looked, the more I saw certain things were tied in. And the biggest thing that I noticed was the fact that when a person or a group of people are trying to get justice, it's a very complicated issue unless one of the small guys or woman, whatever, assaults you or are caught in a crime that you can prosecute. But when it's this whole humongous tentacle of all these ops going on, and it's supported by government, only because let's just say it simply, they well, they won't recognize the crime itself, right? To the police department. So it's so big that it would boggle you to think of it. And there's so many things that go beyond that into military stuff and whatever. But we all have to think about it in those terms. Those terms are what can make us really look at what is it that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And when I started putting a few experiences, or what I've heard throughout the last 7 years almost, it all adds up to a big picture. And really, it's just about getting the information out there in a logical manner. Anyways, to all TIs, stay safe.